Welcome back to Wiseman Company, fellas. Ben here, and the topic of discussion today is, should you start stockpiling 300 Blackout? Now, with 300 Blackout, it seems like people either love it or hate it. I actually like it. I think it has some application. We're going to get into the pros and cons of it. It's not a boutique-y round like it used to be 10, 12, 15 years ago. It's come a long way since then. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, let's cover what rifle I used or what gun I used for this video, because you guys are going to ask anyway. This is not a review on the gun, but you guys always ask the specs of the gun used in the video. And today we have a Griffin Armament Mark II in 300 Blackout. This has a 9-inch barrel, and I love the Griffin Mark II. I think it's the best bang for your buck as far as a factory AR-15 is considered. This 300 Blackout ran everything under the sun. And if you know 300 Blackout, you have to tweak things here and there, but right out of the box, I ran literally all kinds of ammo because I know it can be kind of a pain trying to find the one that works, but everything worked for this. Subsonic, supersonic, suppressed, unsuppressed. I ran their HRT 762 can on the end of this, but the gun overall ran everything, no headache, which was awesome. Again, because 300 Blackout, if you home build it, it can be a little trial and error. This is a pistol, got SB brace on the back. It comes with that. I swapped out the grip. This is the MKM grip, and I like it a lot. It comes with that A2 swept back grip. Not a big fan of that, but luckily it's an AR-15 style firearm, so you can swap it out. It ships with their snatch charging handle. This is great for suppression if you're running a gun suppressed. Everybody knows Griffin Armament's lowers are awesome because they are fully ambidextrous and they work great. Like I said, it's a 9-inch barrel and it's got like an 8.25-inch rail, M-lock. I have a hot pocket on here from Lunar Concepts. These are sold on our website, for those of you wondering. This is the short version. These are coming out soon, but you could run a full long version on here. Hot pocket, wisemancompany.com. Sling is from Lunar Concepts as well. This is just a 2-point baseline sling. An adjustable sling, nothing fancy about it. It's affordable, also sold on our website. Great sling. Up front here we have the Ravivon GL4. I have a separate review on this. This is a laser illuminator. It's got vis laser and IR laser. Just a small little laser that I put on the front of this. Takes up almost no space. It was on my MP5, but I moved it over here for video purposes. Mod light over here on the side with the amp head. As you can see, this head is like nice and small. It kind of rounds out the old PDW bill. It's not like a big hunkin' flashlight, but it is a mod light amp, and it puts out plenty of light for 300 Blackout. We're talking like 100 yards and in for those subsonic rounds, and a Surefire pressure pad attached to it. Last but not least, aim point duty RDS on top with a Reptilla mount. This is going to put me like at 193 height. I think we need to set this parameter up front and be very clear about it in this video. 300 Blackout is not 5.56. It does not do the same thing as 5.56. It can't compete with 5.56 in regards to speed, terminal ballistics, distance. It's not the same thing. It's not 5.56. And I think that's where 300 Blackout gets a bad name a lot of the time, because people are trying to compare it to 5.56 and it's just apples to oranges. It's not the same thing. We're going to talk about the benefits of 300 Blackout and maybe a few negatives. So back in the day, 300 Blackout, when I first started in the industry, right when it came out, it was kind of this secret squirrel round. It was a SOCOM round. It was very boutique-y was the term used. It was a 5.56 cartridge with a 30 cal round in it, and it was 2 guns in one, essentially. So from there, a lot of loads have been developed for the 300 Blackout, and that is one big positive. There are so many different types of rounds, supersonic, subsonic, different types of projectiles that do different things. It is almost comparable to the shotgun as far as different types of rounds, where you can just get all sorts of different projectiles and casing and powders that are going to do different things. This leads us to the next point of it's very easy to reload. 300 Blackout is easy to reload. I'm not a reloader, but if you had to, it's not that difficult. Again, you can use 5.56 casings and trim them and twist them, whatever you guys do, and you can put a 30 cal projectile in that with some pistol powder, and voila, you have 300 Blackout. Now again, I'm not a reloader. A lot of you out there have like your own special recipes on how to do it and things like that. That's a video for another time and not for me because I'm not a reloader. But that is a big perk of the 300 Blackout. It is easy to reload. 300 Blackout is more commonly compared to 7.62x39 and 45 ACP, but 300 Blackout has better exterior ballistics than both of those rounds, believe it or not. It's certainly better than 45 ACP. 45 ACP, there's a lot of soft armor that can defeat it, but 300 Blackout will go through soft body armor. So that is one perk of it. It is not a pistol caliber round. Another benefit that people bring up about the 300 Blackout, which I don't really agree with or carries any merit, is that it was adopted by the U.S. military. The U.S. military also adopted the SIG P320 and the M14. You know how that went. So that doesn't really mean anything to me. Yes, the U.S. military uses it, and it's, I would say, in common use, but the civilian market is the one that really pioneered the 300 Blackout. With 300 Blackout, you can get away with a shorter barrel. If you want a short gun, usually in 5.56, the shortest you're gonna go is 10.5, 10.3, around that 10-inch mark. Underneath that, and you're not really getting much bang for the buck. 300 Blackout, you can get away with very, very short barrels. See guys running 5-inch barrels. This one's a 9-inch barrels. There's a lot of debate on where that sweet spot is, but most of them are going to use that pistol length gas system, and you can build a very compact package. This is nice because 300 Blackout suppresses really well. That leads me to my next point. If you want a round to suppress, 300 Blackout is awesome. And my honest opinion is I would not buy or build a 300 Blackout unless you plan to suppress it. It probably isn't worth your time. It is just such a good round to suppress. And again, you're going to get that short package, add a suppressor on it that's going to add length. Price on 300 Blackout. It is around that 40 to 50 cents per round if you're going to buy bulk FMJ. Now, if you're talking about defensive ammo or you're talking about some of these boutique rounds, you can get up into the $2 range per round. But for bulk ammo, you're in that 40 to 50 cent price range as of 2025. A long time ago, you could never find it under $1, and that's just the way it was. But it's in common use now. A lot of manufacturers are making it, which has drove down the price significantly. So that price is very comparable to 7.62x39, which is slowly dying out in the United States. 308. A little bit more expensive than 5.56. Similar price to maybe 45 ACP. Again, these are bulk prices, but the price has come down substantially, which makes it a little bit more affordable to stockpile. 300 Blackout isn't necessarily a long range round or even intermediate range cartridge, but you're not completely dead in the water with 300 Blackout if you need to stretch out. I have stretched out super 300 Blackouts out to 400 yards very consistently. Not an issue. And inside of 300, I can say I'm very confident with super 300 Blackout. Now subs, obviously, that's a different story. I'm going to stay 100 yards and in, but that's kind of the point of subsonic, to be a PDW, to be the better submachine gun. Subsonic 300 Blackout does great inside of that 100-yard range. Again, if I need to switch over and stretch out a little bit, I can go to supers and I can get out to 300 very confidently on C-zone size targets. Do it all the time. But you're not pigeonholed to short range just because you have 300 Blackout. It can stretch out. You just got to know your holds like anything else and use the right cartridge for the job. That's 3 in a row at 250 yards with supers. Some of the negatives of 300 Blackout I touched on earlier in the video. It's not going to perform like 5.56, and it can be a little choosy on its gas system. That's why you see a lot of manufacturers that build 300 Blackouts that are at the top of the food chain. They're going to have an adjustable gas system. You know, that Sig Rattler, the BRN 180, like a lot of those 300 Blackouts have a piston system with an adjustable gas. This one is a DI gun, and the buffer is tuned for subs and supers, suppressed and unsuppressed, so it's kind of that happy medium. But if you're just slapping a gun together and you want to run subs and super, suppressed and unsuppressed, you can run into some issues there. It's completely avoidable, but it's not a just one-size-fits-all AR or one-size-fits-all gas system, and you can run anything you want. All right, guys, I don't know if it's time for you to start stockpiling 300 Blackout, but I'm going to say it's a good time to do so if you are interested. Prices are down for 300 Blackout relatively. I don't know how they'll stay, if they'll stay like that. As I always say, the good old days are right now. So if you wanted to start stockpiling 300 Blackout, again, I think it's a good time. And it's not something you need 10,000 rounds of. If you have a 300 Blackout, maybe just an upper, because that's all you need. You can slap it on any AR-15 lower. Maybe just start with 20 here, 40 there, and then get up to 1,000 rounds and save it for a rainy day, you know? Again, this hasn't been really a better time to do so. And for these 300 Blackouts, I think there's a lot of application stateside for the prepared citizen. So think about it. Leave me a comment down below. Do you like 300 Blackout? Do you not like it? Seems like there's two very distinctive camps when we're talking about this topic. Again, I enjoy it, but let me know down below. Love to hear from you guys. If you want to support us, go to wisemancompany.com. That is the best way to support us. We have a ton of great gear on our website. We got hats, shirts, nylon gear for your rifles, EDC gear for every day. It's the best way to support us. We appreciate that support. It's fast shipping, high quality gear. My name's Ben. We'll see you on the next video.